He's going to get down here first.
Look at Andrew Tate flying. Protect that.
Good morning, race fans, as H1 Unlimited welcomes you to the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana for the American Powerboat Association Gold Cup hydroplane races here at the 69th Madison Regatta. As you hear behind us, we're going to be a little bit late for unlimited testing due to our vintage participants from the local club 5 to the 5 here in Madison. Once their runs are completed, we'll have a 1-hour testing session for the H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. Then later this afternoon, we'll get into racing action. All these times are Eastern Daylight Time. Heat 1A will be at 1:20, Heat 1B at 1:40, Heat 2A at 3:20, Heat 2B at 3:40. Your top qualifier for the 69th Madison Regatta APBA Gold Cup is local favorite Jimmy Shane in the U6 Miss Home Street. Of course, the boat owned by Miss Madison Incorporated had an average qualifying speed of 148.885 miles per hour, but they set a one-lap course record here in qualifying of 149.692 miles per hour. Here's what that lap looked like inside the cockpit with Jimmy Shane.
Jimmy Shane, driver of the U6 Miss Home Street Unlimited Hydroplane. Let's go for a lap around the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse here in Madison, Indiana.
This is our qualifying run from yesterday here at the 2019 Gold Cup. And Madison's a really unique course. It's very much a paperclip type shaped course. And you really have to keep your speed up and the revs of the engine. You got to keep those revs up high. So here we come now, coming down to the start-finish line. And right here, we've just crossed the start-finish line. So our first two laps that we ran on this run, we had a 146 and a 148. And as I was getting the times over my radio communications, I knew that we were close to that course record. So one of the biggest things I just did there was you have to get through that first turn clean. You got to get up over the rough stuff, and then that keeps the acceleration up coming out of that corner from the apex out. So running down the backstretch, you're running against the current, so the boat's going to be about 10 mile an hour slower going towards that bridge there. Biggest thing there, you can see I'm taking the turns a little bit wide going into it and trying to hit that apex buoy. Once I get past that apex buoy, it's full lift mode on the front canard. You can see the boat walking a little bit all the way down to the start-finish line there, and that was our 149 lap there. So course record and fastest lap there on Madison. So real honored to be driving the Miss Home Street, and glad you guys get to take a ride with me around the race course here in Madison, Indiana.
Record lap set by Jimmy Shane yesterday afternoon in qualifying in the U6 Miss Home Street. With us here that was watching that lap on tape before we went live on camera is our defending APBA Gold Cup champion, Andrew Tate. Andrew, welcome to Madison. Learn anything from that onboard video from your competitor?
Well, that blue boat set up by Mike Hansen and the Miss Madison team's pretty darn fast. So I don't think that was anything new. It was interesting to see his lines and kind of how the boat ran, but it's fast. We know that, and he's looking like the hometown favorite and maybe the odds-on favorite.
Your season, you did test in Tri-Cities, Washington at the end of June, skipped the Southern Cup at Lake Guntersville in Alabama. You've been on the water twice here, your third fastest in qualifying, a little over 141, and you mentioned before we went on camera, I don't think you're going to test, so I know you're anxious to get out there in 1A this afternoon.
Yeah, back to the races we go. It's always exciting to be in the cockpit of one of these unlimited hydroplanes and back out there with great competitors. So hopefully we start the weekend off right and we can continue to collect points. And the immediate goal right now is to be on the front line in the final. And once we get there, all bets are off. Anything can happen. We're all going to go for that big gold trophy.
Last year winning on home waters had to be so special in Detroit, winning that most prestigious trophy in hydroplane racing, the Gold Cup.
Yeah, a bit of attrition there in Detroit. It was a great race with Jimmy. Get down to that second turn first. That's kind of the key there. We were able to do that and gain kind of position and dictate a little bit of the boat race. But it's always nice to race at home. It's always exciting to race at home, but at the same time, there is a lot of pressure and other things that come with it. So we know the home street boat, the Miss Madison here, is the favorite, and all eyes are on them. So maybe they'll feel a little bit of pressure. I don't know. I know I did last year, but Jimmy's a tough guy, not only mentally, but on the race course as well. I think he'll be just fine, and we'll see what happens when we get out there.
Now, you're a defending champion here in Madison, 2017, when we ran the exhibition, but still issued the Indiana Governor's Cup out. Your boat handles this tight course real well in the 2-mile configuration.
Yeah, we've worked on, well, not necessarily me, but the Campbell brothers and the rest of the team, Seth Parshall and Brian Gibb. There's others, obviously, but they've worked year in, year out to continue to make improvements to this old boat. It's only 2 years younger than me, and neither of us are getting any younger or less gray. But we keep squeezing the most out of it, and it's still competitive. It's still fast. We think we still have what it takes to compete, and you know, hopefully be there at the end of the weekend when final checkered flag waves.
Yeah, you mentioned that boat. It's hard to believe it's actually the original 1992 U102.5 that Coors Dry that Ron Jones Jr. campaigned. Mitch Evans actually drove it first in competition. Then Dave Vilwalk won his first ever unlimited event in that boat in San Diego in 1992. You mentioned Jeff Campbell, retired. Not necessarily. He's here as a consultant. Is it soothing to have him here this weekend?
Yeah, there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and passion that goes with Jeff and also his brother Mike. Mike stayed home. Jeff's here, like you said, kind of on a consultant basis, overseeing things and making sure we're doing okay. So, yeah, that is a little bit soothing or relaxing to have that much experience and that knowledge in our pit stall down here on the U1 auxiliary marketing boat, Delta Real Track boat. So the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. If anyone wants to come help out, let me know. We're taking resumes.
Your father, Mark Tate, won the Gold Cup in 1991 and 1994, 91 in that beautiful Winston Eagle, 94 in the Camel-powered Smokin' Joe's. Not here this weekend. Do you have a lot of communication with your father when he's not at the races, or does he just let you be your own man?
You know, I'm not the best with my cell phone and keeping in touch with everyone. I think I owe him a phone call from yesterday. So I'll get with him after I'm done here before we run and go race. But he's actually at home working on little outboard boats with my brother Brent. They're getting ready for the Wakefield, Michigan Stock Outboard Nationals here in a couple weeks. So, you know, Brent raced boats for a long time and was actually very, very good at it at a young age. I think, I'm not afraid to say he was better than me when we were younger. So the fact that he's getting back into it, you know, who knows what could happen. Maybe we'll see him out here one day with me.
And your younger brother, Brent, I happened to be there that year in Atlanta. He is an APBA Hall of Champion with the outboards.
Yeah, he beat me to it. He actually got into the Hall of Champions there before I did. I've only been in twice, well, 3 times now with the Unlimited last year. But, yeah, it was a very special moment down there in Atlanta when he got up on stage, and you could see how much it meant to him and the family because he couldn't put his words together. He overwhelmed with emotion and probably feelings, I guess, at that point. But it was special for the entire Tate family.
The defending APBA Gold Cup champion, he's right here, Andrew Tate. Thank you for visiting with us. Good luck in this year's battle.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Glad to be here in Madison, Indiana, and hopefully we put on a good show for everyone.
Andrew Tate with us here at the judges stand. We do see the slings being put on the U6 Miss Home Street. So once this session begins, it will be a 1-hour testing session for the H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. The slings are being applied to the U12 Graham Trucking as J. Michael Kelly will take to the water as well here in this open testing session before we go into racing activity later this afternoon for Unlimited 1A and 1B. Just received word we'll have a slight delay before we go to open testing for the Unlimiteds. We had our vintage participants out with the local racing club 5 to the 5. A couple of those crafts will make it. About 3 of those crafts have went dead in the water, as you can see, past turn number 1 here on the Ohio River. Yesterday we had qualifying here in Madison for the 69th Madison Regatta. Madison Regatta Incorporated elected to host the most prestigious prize in boat racing, the APBA Gold Cup. 4th time Madison has hosted the trophy. Of course, the first one in 1971, the Cinderella victory of Miss Madison, Jim McCormick. 1979, the Gold Cup was here with the veteran Bill Muncie winning in the Blue Blaster Atlas Van Lines. And the native of Ohio, Dean Chenoweth, won in 1980 here the APBA Gold Cup in the Miss Budweiser. Looking at qualifying yesterday, on top was Jimmy Shane in U6 Miss Home Street, average speed of 148.885 miles per hour. Second quick, J. Michael Kelly in U12 Graham Trucking at 142.735 miles per hour. Third quick, Andrew Tate, who we just spoke to, in the Auxure Marketing Delta Real Track at 141.661 miles per hour. Fourth fastest, Tom Thompson in the U11 J&Ds, presented by Reliable Diamond Tool at 138.849 miles per hour. Fifth quick, Bert Henderson, U7 Spirit of Detroit, 137.088 miles per hour. Six on the ladder, Dustin Eccles in 440, Bucket List Racing at 132.892 miles per hour. And seventh on the ladder, Corey Peabody in the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream at 126.396 miles per hour. Unlimited Heat 1A will come up at 1:20 Eastern Daylight Time. Boats participating. U1 Auxure Marketing presents Delta Real Track. U7 Spirit of Detroit. U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. U6 Miss Home Street. Heat 1B will take off at 1:40 Eastern Daylight Time. 3-boat heat, 4:40 Bucket List Racing. U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. And the U12 Graham Trucking. As we mentioned earlier, Heat 2A will go off at 3:20 EDT. Heat 2B will go off at 3:40 EDT. We're still getting some boats in out of the water from our vintage participants. We're going to take a slight break here with the microphone, but stay with us for live streaming coverage of the APBA Gold Cup through H1 Unlimited. Race fan, thank you for your patience here watching the 69th Madison Regatta on H1 Unlimited, the live stream. We're currently in a half-hour delay, 1.5 hour delay, but once we complete that delay, and hopefully it'll be sooner, we will go back to the water for H1 Unlimited testing. That will be a 1-hour session as we still know of as of right now. We do see the U6 Miss Home Street in the water. Also, to the slings, as you can see, being applied and hovering over the water right now, the U12 Graham Trucking. We still have some safety and rescue vessels to be put into position. Once again, we apologize for the delay, and by the way it looks, this could be less than the 1/2 hour I just mentioned moments ago. Stand by. Thank you for watching the live stream of H1 Unlimited. We'll be back. For our fans around the world, thank you for your patience as you're watching the live stream, courtesy of H1 Unlimited, for the 2019 APBA Gold Cup here at the 69th Madison Regatta in Madison, Indiana. We're moments away getting the course reset to have the Unlimiteds take to the water for their final testing session today. You can see the U6 way in the background is in the water, the Miss Home Street, followed by the U7 Spirit of Detroit, and then the U12 Graham Trucking. Slings being applied to the red, white, and blue U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. And one more boat, we see the slings on top of the engine cowling behind the Graham Trucking truck, which is the U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Thank you for your patience. We will be back momentarily. Up next, unlimited testing here at the Madison Regatta. Just heard from the officials of H1 Unlimited. The green flag has waved. The course is open now for unlimited hydroplane testing. This will be a 1-hour session. It was scheduled to begin around 11:40. Currently 12:16 Eastern Daylight Time on my watch here in Madison. Unlimited 1A was scheduled for 1:20 later this afternoon. If we get an update on a scheduled change for the times later on today, just got word from Tate Meyer. All the heat races, it looks like, will be moved back 1/2 hour. All the heat races for this afternoon will be moved back 1/2 hour. So Unlimited 1A right now will go off at 1:50 EDT, and Unlimited 1B will go off at 2:10 EDT. So mark that down if you're watching and listening at home. Unlimited 1A now will go off at 1:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Unlimited Heat 1B will go off at 2:10 Eastern Daylight Time here in the Ohio River Valley of Madison, Indiana. We were greeted this morning when we came down to the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse. Overcast skies, and it was a blessing from yesterday's weather. Sunny conditions, hot and humid. The bright sun above is trying to break through the cloud cover. You can see some sunshine on the waters of the Ohio River on the camera lens, but we do still have some cloud cover here along the Indiana shoreline. But I turn to the right and see a lot of blue to the west, so hopefully later this afternoon we'll have some bright sunny skies here at the 69th Madison Regatta APBA Gold Cup. Checking our drone footage, excellent views from the guys above. Here at the Madison Regatta, you see the IKEE power plant in the background as J. Michael Kelly works through turn number 2 here in this testing session. And there's the community of Madison, Indiana in the background. Approximate 12,000 citizens hosting the Gold Cup for the 4th time here in Madison. J. Michael Kelly by the start-finish line buoy out of Bonnie Lake, Washington in the U12 Graham Trucking. Qualified second fastest here at the Gold Cup at a speed of 142.735 miles per hour. Jimmy Shane coming down the front straightaway off turn number 2, and you hear a roar from the crowd in the background as the public address announcer announced their boat. It is the Miss Madison Incorporated owned Miss Home Street, your top qualifier at 148.885 miles per hour. And boy, that's a beautiful drone shot up in turn number 2, right past the entrance pin. As J. Michael Kelly whips through that turn, you see him on the right-hand side working down the front chute in the U12 Graham Trucking. J. Michael Kelly, no doubt a player here this afternoon and tomorrow for the APBA Gold Cup as Jimmy Shane blisters into turn number 2. Beautiful shot from above, working in about a lane 2 sequence, maybe 2.5. Swings it way outside, coming down to complete another lap here in testing in the U6 Miss Home Street. Just leaned down to get a speed for the U6, a touch over 138 miles per hour. 138 miles per hour. Let's keep our eye on the Graham Trucking on the back straightaway with J. Michael Kelly. He did not elect to make a timing run yesterday, and we'll get an idea in seconds how long it gets to point A to point B. Point B, of course, the start-finish line buoy. I got the clock on him right there as he started to hit the accelerator right there at the entrance pin of turn number 2. J. Michael Kelly getting an idea in seconds how long it takes to get in lane number 1 from that entrance pin of turn number 2 to the start-finish line buoy. And by my watch, 16 seconds. 16 seconds. When you're watching the races this afternoon and into tomorrow, at the top right-hand corner of the screen, we'll have the clock countdown. Once you see that 16-second mark, if those boats are behind that yellow buoy entering turn number 2, they should be in good shape for a start. If they're past it, they're going to have to really feather and work that throttle to get to the start-finish line buoy and not jump the gun. If you do jump the gun in unlimited hydroplane racing, it is a 1-minute penalty tacked on to your lapse time in the heat. So both boats are on the back straightaway. We'll watch JMK once again here in the U12 Graham Trucking. Finished second last weekend at Lake Gunnersville in the Southern Cup at Alabama. Now you see JMK cutting through the infield. That will be a legal maneuver this afternoon here at the APBA Gold Cup. You can enter the infield from the backstretch only, just past that orange buoy up the back chute, and you have to re-enter prior to the start-finish line buoy. Also, to that maneuver there, you can only cut into the infield from front chute to back chute on the GPW Turn 1 course. That area in between is a DMZ zone. If a boat goes in that part of the track during the races, that is a 1-minute penalty and possible more severe violation. So J. Michael Kelly up in turn number 2 in the Graham Trucking, still in that lane 1 sequence. And we've had that exit pin off turn number 2 come loose again here on the Ohio River. I failed to get the watch on him, but he was making a timing run just off the exit pin of turn number 2, the start-finish line buoy. J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. Your other DMZ zones here on the Ohio River in Madison on this Wild Bill Cantrell 2-mile track, they're no-brainers. Just draw a straight line in turn number 1 from the entrance pin to the exit pin where the safety and rescue boats are. A craft cannot enter there. And the same up in turn number 2. Just draw that line from the entrance pin to turn number 2, the exit pin. That is a DMZ zone. If you enter that area during the warm-up and in the race itself, that penalty will be enforced. So Shane slowing up the back straightaway. We'll keep our watch on him. And boy, I think that entrance pin at turn number 2 might have come loose as well. Now he picks the throttle up there. Let's go ahead and put the clock on him. Not at full tilt right now. Just past the entrance pin at turn number 2. Now he hits the throttle. And boy, that's tough for these drivers with those buoys dislodged. And we got him there at 16 seconds. So just past the entrance pin at turn number 2 where it should be to the start-finish line buoy, 16 seconds. So an identical run for Shane yesterday and today in a timing run here on the Ohio River. So J. Michael Kelly slow in turn number 2 as we see Jimmy Shane work up the back straightaway in the Madison, Indiana-based U6 Miss Home Street. Another boat leaving the pit dock you see below in the picture. The U98, red, white, and blue, beautiful paint job for the 4th of July weekend. Corey Peabody out of Kent, Washington, driving the second entry for Rob Graham, the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. And yes, both those buoys in turn number 2, we had problems with them yesterday, and we got the same gremlins today on this Saturday. That entrance and exit pin has gone away, so we'll have to get them back into position as Jimmy Shane continues to work down the track by the start-finish line buoy in the Miss Home Street. He cuts the infield right there. I'm going to put the watch on him. See what kind of timing sequence we can get right here as he entered the infield right there at turn number 1 of the GPW course. Get an idea here on a timing mark how long it takes to get back to the start-finish line buoy. Jimmy appears to be working well deep into turn number 2 this time. Yes, we see from the aerial above, he's way out by the insurance markers, but now he's going to slow and appears to point the nose of the U6 Miss Home Street back to the pit dock. Up in turn number 2 right now, it is Corey Peabody in the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Checked in yesterday at 126.396 miles per hour. 126.396 for Corey Peabody in the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. J. Michael Kelly on the back straightaway will keep the camera lens on the beautiful dominant. No, I'm sorry, that is the U7. My apologies, race fans. That is the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Bert Henderson out on the track in the dominant red, blue and white stripe racecraft based out of the Motor City. Henderson, 5th fastest qualifier at 137.088 miles per hour, 137.088. Henderson wide, Peabody coming through turn 2 at stout speed toward the buoy row. Corey Peabody by the start-finish line buoy. Bert Henderson out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada. This will be his 5th ever Unlimited Hydroplane race. First time here in Madison. Now Bert cuts through the infield. I'm going to start the watch right there because I know a guy watching today that I wish was here in Texas wants to know what those timing marks are when they cut in turn number 1 there for the GPW course getting down to the start-finish line buoy. So Bert working gingerly up the back chute. We'll keep our eye on him and also, too, the camera there on the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream here in this unlimited testing session. So Bert Henderson entered the infield at the GPW Turn 1 course as he comes down the start-finish line buoy. So Mr. Luce, I got him there in 42 seconds. 42 seconds when you enter turn number 1 right there at the GPW course, and they ran a wide arc to the start-finish line buoy in 42 seconds. Nice shot. Both boats off turn number 1 course. They're not racing, it's testing. They're trying to get their final preparation set, get those timing marks down. Henderson in front, Peabody in the 2nd position as they ripple up the Trimble County side of the Ohio River Racecourse here in Madison. Bert Henderson leaving room there on the outside for Corey Peabody on the inside. Bert Henderson, of course, finished 3rd at the Southern Cup last week at Guntersville, Alabama. See if we can get a time on the 7. No time given for the 7. Bert done a pretty hot lap there on the outside. Now Corey Peabody, as you saw, cut through the GPW course. Last lap for both boats, the 98 a touch over 127, the 7 a touch over 128. Oh, and Bert got real light. Bert hung it up there pretty good going into turn number 2 in the U7 Spirit of Detroit here in testing. Boy, you could see that left sponson come up. He brought it back down, kept his composure. U98 coming back into the pit area. Bert Henderson by the start-finish line buoy once again in the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Working into turn number 1, we look above from the drone view. About a lane 2 sequence there for Bert Henderson. And when we go racing this afternoon and into Sunday, that aerial shot there is going to be very critical, not only for the officials and also too for your fans watching at home. That is the roughest part of this Ohio River race course down in turn number 1. Races have been won and been lost right there in the first lap of heat races and final heats here at the Madison Regatta for 69 years. Bert up in turn number 2. Had about 3 good hot laps here. He'll come across the start-finish line buoy, hangs it up there a little bit, brought it back down. We'll see if we can get a time. (128.095 miles per hour). 128.095 miles per hour for Bert Henderson in the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Next boat out to test the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. It's the U11. J&D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Tom Thompson out of Cambridge, Maryland in the cockpit. Our oldest chauffeur here this weekend at age 56, but a guy that's in dynamite physical condition. Thompson, 4th fastest qualifier here at the Gold Cup at 138.849 miles per hour. Tom Thompson drew an Unlimited Heat 1B later this afternoon with the Bucket List Racing and the U12 Graham Trucking. Bert Henderson slow off turn number 2. He'll come back into the pit area as Tom Thompson works up the back straightaway in the U11. Thompson still looking for that first ever Unlimited win. Champion numerous times in the APBA inboard category. I put the clock there on Tom. Looks like he's making a timing run right there at the entrance pin of turn number 2. Tom, of course, doubles up in the HRL series in the Grand Prix for Randy English and the Reliable Diamond Tool. Timing run there for Tom Thompson. I got him at 15 seconds. It's going to be tough to gauge with that entrance pin floating downstream up in turn number 2. Thompson from above, nice shot in turn number 1, carving that turn. Long chutes, tight turns here in Madison for this Wild Bill Cantrell 2-mile track. Thompson working up the back straightaway. When he came by the start-finish line buoy that last time, the wind picked up there momentarily but settled back down. Now Tom flies it as he works into turn number 2. Saw Henderson as well have that kind of boat activity earlier. Not a severe flight, but enough to get your attention inside the capsule. Try and get a time here for you for the U11. J&D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Nice speed here for racing trim, 132.968. 132.968 for Tom Thompson, the APBA inboard racer out of Region 4 in Maryland. Thompson slow off turn number 1. Keep our eye on Tom, see if he elects to make a timing run. It's going to be so critical here in Madison. 7-boat field. We'll take the top 4 boats in points after 4 sets of preliminary heats. They'll make the front row of the Gold Cup final heat. We will have 2 trailers, so points, points, points when we go racing this afternoon and into Sunday. You want to score. You want to score well. You don't want to beat yourself. You want to be on the front row of the Gold Cup final tomorrow afternoon. Thompson off turn number 2. Now he cuts through the infield. Let's start that watch right there and see if he elects to make a longer version of a timing run. Tom Thompson would love nothing better than to win this one here tomorrow afternoon in Madison. Not only would it be his first ever Unlimited win, to get his name on the oldest active motorsports trophy in the world, the APBA Gold Cup. First run in 1904. This will be the 110th running. We've had some absences due to World War II and weather. We'll have the 110th running here this year in Madison tomorrow. Got him there from the entrance pin of the GPW course, cutting to the infield to the start-finish line buoy at 43 seconds. 43 seconds from the entrance pin of the GPW Turn 1 course to the start-finish line in 43 seconds. So Thompson slow once again on the back chute. If you just joined us, Unlimited Heat 1A has been moved back 1/2 hour to 1:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Unlimited Heat 1B will now go off at 2:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time here in Madison. Thompson slow off turn number 2, and he points the beautiful Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. And we'll come back into the pit area. Unfortunately, last weekend, the number 11 was in the final heat at the Southern Cup in Guntersville. But a gearbox problem caused gremlins, and they failed to leave the trailer for the Southern Cup. But they worked hard all week long out at the Madison, Indiana airport. The 11 camp wanted to thank those fine folks out there for the use of their buildings to get repairs made to that gearbox for this weekend's APBA Gold Cup. Tom overshot the pit dock, and you can see the lid has come up on the 11, so we'll get a towboat operator over to the number 11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool, or maybe Tom might try to relight and come back in naturally to the pit dock. With that, we'll pause momentarily here on the microphone. Stay with us. We'll see if any more Unlimiteds take to the water in testing. Stand by. For our fans watching live on the H1 Unlimited stream, we just received word that ends Unlimited Hydroplane testing on this Saturday here at the 69th Madison Regatta APBA Gold Cup. Come back and join us later this afternoon. Unlimited Heat 1A will be at 1:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Boats participating: U1 Oxshire Marketing presents Delta Real Track, U7 Spirit of Detroit, U98 Graham Trucking American Dream, U6 Miss Home Street. Unlimited Heat 1B will go off at 2:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 3-boat heat with the 440 Bucket List Racing. U11 JNDs presented by Reliable Diamond Tool and the U12 Graham Trucking. 1A at 150, 1B at 210. Thank you for watching Unlimited Hydroplane testing here at H1 Unlimited with the live stream. Join us later this afternoon. Until then, stay safe.